Get comfortable here. Getting focused too. I'm not in focus. I'm blurry. What's going on? There. Now it got the focus back. Okay. I'm here. All right. I want to continue on with these talks, lessons. I want to call them lessons. I think they're things that people are commonly asking about or concerned about. And I think it's important to feel comfortable with the cards, and I think it's important to feel confident with the cards in order to read right. And there's mindsets out there that there's influences, some mysterious influences around the cards. I don't feel that there's anything, no demons or spirits or evil forces or any type of forces really around the cards at all. And I think that's it's good to just look at them as it's a deck of ideas. It's a deck of cards that we understand more about today than we did back then. And I have friends, I have people I know who are uncomfortable about the tarot. And the mindset is strong. It's centuries old, that there's something mysterious there or unseen forces or something like that. They don't know what it is, so they're uncomfortable with it. And but I don't even think the church really frowns on the tarot as much as it used to. I'm not too sure about that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they've eased up on that. But if you know somebody who's still uncomfortable with them, that's I don't try to talk them out of it, but there's nothing really to be worried about with that. There's no magic in the cards. It's a set of ideas. It's a random set of ideas that help you find answers in a reading. And it works very well. It's a perfect tool to find random ideas, random thoughts that might help you in a reading. And what we're doing with the tarot is we're making predictions. And you could say that's looking into the future because a prediction is the future. Hasn't been done yet. Any idea you have is a prediction, or it's an idea. I mean, it's looking into the future, but you haven't done it yet. It's just an idea. From things that are very simple. Let's say you're planning on having lunch today with somebody. Well, that's a prediction. And or you're thinking about having lunch with somebody. Oh, let's see what's going on with so-and-so. I'm going to go call them up and see. Well, that's an idea. That's a prediction. You haven't done it yet. You're thinking about doing it. So it hasn't been done yet. And it might come to pass. It might not. A lot of your ideas are pretty sure things because you have all the facts about them and you know there's nothing to it. But so more than likely it'll happen. And when we do predictions for people, we don't have all the facts. The more facts you can get, the more information you can get about the question, the more useful your reading can be to them. A tarot reading breaks the question apart into sections called a card spread. And we address each section specifically. And then we also address the whole thing blended together to make some type of a direction or strategy we're looking to go into. And today that's known as a creative thinking technique. And the randomness of tarot cards placed into those positions of the card spread forces us to make an association between the random tarot card and how we perceive that card, whether it's with a meaning or something in the card, in some way that will pertain to that aspect of the question we're looking into. That forces us to use our imagination and the part of our mind that is creative and the part of our mind that's also intuitive. So it opens up doors of opportunity to get intuitive with your readings. We don't know much about intuition, but I will say that we know if we do certain things, it helps bring the intuition to us. Now, I do readings where sometimes there's no intuition to it at all. And sometimes there's very strong intuition. Why? I don't know. But the readings are still good, whether there's intuition in there or not. Because we have ideas we're getting that we're using our imagination to come up with that makes sense once we see them. So ideas are predictions, like I said. We're not, you want to look at that and say we're looking into the future. Call it whatever you want. But it's just ideas. Still to be done. The more you read, obviously, the more confidence you're going to get, the more comfortable you're going to feel about the cards. The deck you use isn't important, but as long as you like it. But as far as your intuition goes, your reading's going to have a lot of things that are logical in them. And it's good to have some facts about things that you're looking into. I know professional readers that will not read unless there's some specific issue we're looking into, and unless they have some information that the client can give them about it. So cold readings are not really that useful. But getting intuitive about something that you have something to base it on, some facts to it, that's when you can get intuitive in a way that would be useful to a client. And you don't need much intuition to make a good reading. A lot of your reading could be very just common sense. Intuition is like concentrated knowledge, I call it. It's a little bit of intuition goes a long way. So if you get intuitive about one little aspect of the question, one position maybe, that's still can be very, very useful, very, very interesting. I look at intuition like, I use the analogy of intuition's like a spice to your stew. You know, a little bit goes a long way. You don't need to have a lot. Just enough. And that's all there is to it. So your whole reading doesn't have to be all into intuition. Just hunches here and there that you're getting. A good way to get the experience with reading is there's a lot of good ways to do it. The way I like the best, was I've seen work very easy for people, is if, I don't know, I've said it before, but I'll keep on repeating it for new people here, is if you have a fair or festival in your town where they're taking in vendors, become a vendor, get yourself a 10-foot square canopy tent. You can get them for $100 at Walmart. And some folding chairs, some folding tables. Get a banner or a sign on your tent that says free tarot readings. And you'll pay for the booth as a vendor, but you put a tip jar out on your table and you will get tips for those readings. And as the day progresses, you'll start to see, you'll have a line of people waiting to see you as a reader. And every reading you do, give out a business card and tell them you do readings over the phone, do house parties, do whatever you want to tell them. And you will get people calling you. I think I just mentioned this in my last video. This works out very well. Plus, you're getting the experience and you're reading strangers. It's easy to read family members and things like that. There's no pressure there. But when you're reading somebody you don't never met before, it's nice to have that kind of experience. You can interact with them. Again, there's no magic in the cards themselves. We could actually explain why these cards work now. And today it can be seen as a creative thinking technique. specifically known as conceptual blending. It also uses mind maps, only in a verbal way. And this is the same part of the mind that your intuition comes from. So you're using a part of the mind that you normally don't use. And when you use that part of the mind, you're opening up that ability to be intuitive. And you'll start to get familiar with what that feels like when you're intuitive about something. And you'll recognize it. So I think that that's a good attitude to have with the tarot. Is they're not mysterious. What's really amazing, though, and we don't know anything about, is the mind. And that's where it's still an amazing thing. And the more we find out about it, the more we're going to understand intuition and how it works. But we're still just scratching the surface. So enjoy your deck, whatever you're using. Have fun with it. And you're really just looking for new answers. And when you find them, people are going to say, well, how did you know that with a deck of cards? Wow. And you look at those cards and you say, oh my gosh, how can a deck of cards do that? No, it's the application that's doing it. So getting a basic feel of what the cards mean is really something you're going to need to do. And that's why I like using keywords for card meanings. If I have a card that I use the fives in all my in the minor arcana, I see the cards the fives representing change. So that's the key word, change. What words can you associate word change to that could be also be used as meaning the same thing? Modification, alteration, adjustment, transition, transformation, redoing. There's a lot of different things you could use that would represent the word change. And the more words you can use to capture that meaning of change, the easier it is to have some type of word or meaning that uses change that fits into the reading you're doing at the time for that person, that fits in with the other cards to come up with some type of a message. Changes can mean a lot of things. And so it's not specific. The more you define something, the more exact you make it, the more limitation you put on what it can mean. And we don't want to have that. We don't want to have a direct, exact meaning of what the card means. We want to just have starting points. And then you fit that into the reading with the other cards you're seeing, the question you're talking about, and how you feel about this person and their situation that they're in right now will all start to blend in and fit together nicely. Keywords do that so well. I use 20 keywords on my books. The books I have are called The Essential Tarot, Unlocking the Mystery. I use 20 keywords surrounding each card. Here we have the High Priestess, traditional meaning over here. And over here, we have mapped out 20 keywords surrounding the card. This worked out very well. I've done that with all 78 cards here using the Rider-Waite tarot deck. So if you like the Rider-Waite, this works out well. I did the same thing with Bare Bones Tarot. Again, page on one side, the page with traditional meanings over here, And the keywords over here, mapping out the card, around the card, showing all these possibilities. Just an example, for pages, I have new path as a main keyword. So over here, I have a new experience, new direction, seeking the unknown, new path, inspiration, initiative, dreams, driven, turn of events, discovery, choices, possibilities, learning, encouraging news, new realms, a journey, a move up, better position, new environment, phases, new insight. All 78 cards have that kind of thing on both books. Same exact words, just two different books. The Essential Tarot using the Rider-Waite deck, Bare Bones using the Marseille. Again, it doesn't make any difference what deck you like to use. My books will work for any deck you want to use. All of them work the same. And I write them that way. So it won't confuse you. But try keywords. There's other sources that talk about keywords. And I think you'll find that they work out very well for that type of thing. So it's just some more insight. Hope you like this. Keep throwing cards. We'll talk soon.